Hey, hello there, friends. It's Jimmie Maverick, ready to do another best ball draft with you guys. We are post-free agency right now. A lot of changes this past week. We have seen movement on the draft board, although structurally the board is about the same as it was before. Although there were some big movers up. Guys like Josh Jacobs moved up from like the 8th round to the very beginning of the 4th round. I think he's picked 37 right now. But the overall makeup that we see, it's still very, very wide receiver heavy, especially in the first 6 rounds. And so we are going to see, we're going to work on this. We're going to do another draft. We're going to see what kind of team we can build, and we're going to continue to work on our strategy. So stay tuned. We're going to do this. It's a 12-team league, best ball, half-point PPR. We're going to do it right now, so I'll be right back. All right, my friends, here we go, man. We got the draft order set, and I am picking 8th. This is the latest I picked in any draft, so we'll have to see how I want to handle it here. But again, the way that my strategy is, and the first 3 rounds essentially untouched because of free agency. There's nobody that moved in to the top 3 rounds except I think maybe Drake London. But it's still 24 wide receivers in the first 3 rounds, 9 running backs, 2 quarterbacks, and 1 tight end. So we are going to go with the overall strategy of getting ourselves 2 elite wide receivers, and then we're going to get ourselves one of those elite rushing quarterbacks to start out. But then in the 4th round, we are going to pivot. We're going to go to running backs because there are still some excellent running backs available in the 4th round. So that's kind of the strategy I'm going to use today. We are going to most likely just wait on tight end. Although I might be tempted to take Travis Kelce if it makes it to me in the 4th round. But again, when it comes to my draft strategy, I either sacrifice the quarterback position or the tight end position. It's easier for me to sacrifice the tight end position, take that like around 10 or 11. And you can still get a good tight end at round 10 or 11. I mean, it's there are excellent options. Dalton Schultz, Cole Kmet, Dallas Goedert. Those are the guys that are available in those rounds. So I've got no problem waiting to get one of them because I think they're fine. So let me get the draft board up here, and so we can switch between them. And it looks like a pretty typical start. CMC, CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill in the first 4 picks. I'm sure Justin Jefferson's going to fall a little bit because of the questions at quarterback for the Vikings right now. But wow, so many changes when it came to free agency. A lot of big name players moving, especially the running backs, man. It's very surprising. So Justin Jefferson goes 5th. And so again, when we're looking at wide receivers to start out, Amon-Ra, Puka, A.J. Brown, I think all these guys are great. I'd like to have any of them. I think they're all fine choices. If I was picking just a little bit later, like let's say pick 10, 11, 12, I might consider to go running back because there's some really good running backs you can get right in that range. But that's kind of what I'm looking for. So, Breece Hall still on the board. Amon-Ra unfortunately got taken. But I'm going to start with Puka with my first pick. And then for our second pick, if we stick to wide receivers that are coming up, what's my next pick at? It's pick 17. Let's see who's available. So Nico. DJ Moore, a little bit cool on with Keenan Allen being there. I go for the rookie Marvin Harrison. That's still really early for Marvin Harrison. Devontae Adams, over 30, wide receiver. Oh boy, man, it's kind of a not super great option. I mean, Garrett Wilson, AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson. There's no way they're going to make it to me. So let's see here. After Marvin Harrison, Ayuk, Rashee Rice, Stephon Diggs, Drake London. Jeez, man, it's really thin. I could go and I could take Josh Allen. I will be able to get Josh Allen. And then in the 3rd round, I could pivot back. Let's see, our 3rd round is pick number 32. Wide receivers are available at pick 32 would be like Waddle, no. Metcalf, no. Neighbors, ugh. Geez, Pittman would be good if he made it to me, but that I don't think he would make it to me with his ADP at 30. A little bit of a tough situation. I think I definitely got to go wide receiver here, though. I could take DJ Moore. He's going to be with a rookie quarterback, though. That's the thing that kind of bothers me. But it's almost back to us. Let's see who's on the board right now. Saquon, Devin Achane. I don't like Devin Achane. I don't think he's big enough to handle a full workload. Actually, there's Miami running back I'm interested in. I'm going to target him at the end of the draft. But okay, we're in a good situation here. Look at this. 4 running backs in a row just came off. Gibbs, 12th. Kieran Williams, 13th. Jonathan Taylor, 14th. Barkley, 15th. Chain 16. Okay, great. So Nico Collins made it to me. Love Nico Collins, man. We see that Houston is probably not going to go for another wide receiver. They didn't acquire any during free agency. Their draft position is in the late 20s, so they're not going to be able to get one of the elite wide receivers. In fact, I think they traded out of the first round. So that's very good for what he offers. Nico Collins is on a contract year as well, so I really like that. So let's review the first round. So again, 4 running backs, and we've got 8 wide receivers taken in the first round. So after my pick at Puka, it was Breece Hall, then Garrett Wilson, A.J. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs to close out the first round. In the second round was 4 running backs in a row, Kieran Williams, Jonathan Taylor, Saquon Barkley, Devin Achane. But now we've got a run of wide receivers, Nico Collins, Devontae Adams, DJ Moore, Marvin Harrison Jr. goes 20. Derrick Henry goes 21. That's much earlier than ADP. His ADP was at about 38, 39, something like that. Not sure I would want to take a 30-plus-year-old Derrick Henry this early in the second round. Travis Etienne goes. Brandon Ayuk. Second round is almost done here. Josh Allen's taken at the turn. So on this round, we've got 5 more wide receivers taken, 6 running backs, and the quarterback taken. Then to start the third round, we've got Stephon Diggs, Rashee Rice, and it's 5 picks to us. So again, this is very typical. Josh Jacobs going early too. Josh Jacobs was ADP right now is at 37, but I could definitely see him moving up. So we're definitely seeing running backs pushed up now that there's certainty as to where they're playing and the situations that they're in. Like I said, I love Josh Jacobs right now. I think he's a great option. I was hoping he might make it to the 4th round, but that obviously didn't happen. But we are going to go with our elite quarterback. So we're going to either get Hurts or Lamar. Both these guys are great options. I like them both, and it's to us. So I think what I will do is let's go ahead. Let's just take Jalen Hurts, man. Let's lock down our elite quarterback. And so Puka, Nico, and Jalen. I got great first names here on this draft, like the first 3 rounds. Now, let's look at the second in rounds 4 through 6. Here's what's going on. It is still very heavy on wide receivers, 16 wide receivers going in rounds 4 through 6. So that means we are still in the situation where there are 40 wide receivers taken in the first 72 picks. That's why you need to lock down your wide receivers early. There is 10 running backs taken in the next 3 rounds. 4 quarterbacks and 6 tight ends. So it's a big section for tight ends. Again, we haven't had any come off. Look at that. Laporta is still on the board. Laporta usually goes in the first 3 rounds. But like I said, it's very tempting. If Laporta or Kelsey makes it to me, I might have to go with that because it's an outstanding start. It will hurt my running back core, though. That's what happened in one of the last drafts I did where I did end up taking Travis Kelsey. So I think I'm definitely going to pivot here, and we want to look at running backs. So look, there's great running backs still on the board. James Cook, not really interested because of the rushing quarterback. But Rachaad White on a contract year. Isaiah Pacheco, I believe he's on a contract year. Ken Walker. All these guys I'm very happy to have as my RB1. I think all of them are great with volume and the kind of team that they are on. But okay, so it looks like Sam Laporta just came off the board. We do have a little backup of wide receivers here also with Waddle, Neighbors, Devonta Smith, Keenan Allen, Cooper Kupp still on the board as it's approaching me. So you can see here, okay, I can take Lamar off because I don't need to take Lamar now at this point. And Neighbors came off. So since my pick of Jalen Hurts, we had Chris Olave, Michael Pittman, DK Metcalf all came off. Sam Laporta closed out the third round. Then Malik Neighbors is the first player taken in the fourth round. That is the second rookie, I do believe it is the second rookie that's been taken. So that's nice value there. Although I've been saying if I'm going to target a rookie wide receiver in the first 6 rounds, Rome Odunze is kind of my target. And Rome is going at pick 49.5. So he's going at the end of the 4th, beginning of the 5th round. That's where you get the most value, and I think his upside is the same as what Malik or Marvin Harrison would offer. Isaiah Pacheco comes off. 1 pick to me. Jalen Waddle comes off. So I think what I'm going to do, Rachaad White is not an outstanding running back by any measure, but he gets the volume. He got all the work. There's no one else there. They didn't acquire anyone else during free agency. They could draft another running back, but they're not going to draft a high capital running back because there aren't any this year. So they might draft another 4th round or a 5th round running back. Not going to be any real competition. Rachaad White has kind of proven himself, especially with his work in the passing game. Really just solid player for fantasy. Just very, very efficient with getting lots of volume, both in touches and in targets. So I like him. So let's kind of pivot back to wide receivers. My next pick is at pick 56. So let's see what wide receivers are available around pick 56. We've got players like Pickens could make it to me. We've got Terry McLaurin, Christian Kirk, who's now the wide receiver 1 in Jacksonville. They let why am I drawing a blank on his name? They let brain not working today, but they acquired Gabe Davis. They let Calvin Ridley go, right? Calvin Ridley. Oh, and there's Calvin Ridley right there. Calvin Ridley going to Tennessee. I believe he's the one in Tennessee as well. Jordan Addison, don't really want anything to do with that quarterback situation. Here's another rookie, Brian Thomas Jr. JSN is in a crowded wide receiver room. So we still have some ones here. We also have ones with Deontay Johnson. Marquise Brown is in a very good situation for best ball. I kind of like it. And look at his ADP at 90. I think I got to put him on my list. Let's see here. Well, there's Rome. Rome might make it. These guys aren't going to make it, but I'm still just going to highlight them just in case they make it to me. So, okay, I don't know why this isn't moving with me, but let's just keep going here. Okay, so since my pick of Rachaad White, we had James Cook come off, then Cooper Kupp, Lamar Jackson comes off. Very nice placement here, 4th round. Then we got Amari Cooper, Jaden Reed, T. Higgins, Keenan Allen closing out the 4th round. Keenan Allen no longer a 1. He's going to be a 2. DJ Moore is the 1 on that team, so that's a downgrade, plus he's like 32 years old. Start of the 5th round. Kelsey coming off, first pick of the 5th round. That's amazing. That's really good. Kenneth Walker coming off after that. Then Patrick Mahomes, Terry McLaurin, Zay Flowers, 2 picks to me. So we do have some really good options here for wide receivers. Rome Odunze comes off. Again, great placement. McBride comes off tight end right before me. So now it's my pick. So let's go ahead. George Pickens now paired with Russell Wilson. And is the wide receiver 1. Deontay Johnson's gone. Love that. Love that, love that, love that. So we've got ourselves 3 wide receiver 1s. We got ourselves a top 3 quarterback. We got ourselves a decent low-end RB1, high-end RB2. I think we're in great shape. Things are shaping up really well here. And I would like to take another wide receiver in the next round. So we've got players. We still have players. Christian Kirk, Calvin Ridley, Deontay Johnson, Marquise Brown on my list. Going at pick 65. I'm not sure Kirk or Ridley's going to make it back to me, which is too bad. And actually, Deontay Johnson, Marquise Brown, I might be able to wait until the next pick. Yeah, I'm pick 80. Yeah, I would not take them this early. But let's see who's on the board. I could also look at maybe a running back. I mean, because we've got Joe Mixon in Houston, I like that. That's actually a pretty nice option. Where are we at here on picks? So since my George Pickens, we had Mark Andrews, Aaron Jones, Kyle Pitts, and we're just about to close out the 5th round. But look at that. 4 tight ends taken this round. That's a lot. CJ Stroud comes off at the end of the 5th round. 4 picks to us at this point. But let's see here. Who else would I perhaps be interested in? Really, it is just wide receivers. And there is the rookie Brian Thomas. Okay, so Ridley just came off. I don't anticipate that Christian Kirk's going to make it to me. So I might just pivot and take Joe Mixon as my RB2. And again, Joe Mixon is not a player that I've ever really been excited about, but he is going into a situation where Devin Singletary, who I do not consider to be as good as Joe Mixon, did very well in this offense. It's going to be a very good offense. It would be another Houston player, which is kind of cool because I already got Nico. But I think it's a good situation. He's still young enough, and he's never really been a super exciting player for me for fantasy football. Never been a difference maker, but going in the 6th round, he's not bad. Okay. So Christian Kirk did come off, so that was kind of like my line in the sand. So let's go ahead. We will take Mixon here. Kamara's also on the board, but Kamara is 28 years old. So again, age. I don't like to take running backs once they're 28, with the possible exception of Derrick Henry. But even so, Derrick Henry going off in the 2nd round is just nuts. That's way too early because he's playing with a rushing quarterback. He's playing with Lamar Jackson. I don't know. I don't understand. But okay, so let's look at, so now round 7 through 9, here's the makeup. We're going to have 7 quarterbacks coming off, but we don't need to worry about that because we've already got our quarterback. We got 14 running backs coming off in round 7 through 9. So this is a big section for running backs. So we are going to pivot to running backs. We've already got 2. I might try to take another wide receiver. Like I said, Deontay Johnson would be great if he makes it to us. But we've got 11 wide receivers and 4 more tight ends coming off. So again, I'm not going to target any tight ends until the 10th round. And when you look at what's going to happen, there's going to be 11 tight ends coming off the board in the first 9 rounds, but that means there's still the 12th, and I will take the 12th. And that's fine because again, it's when we're talking about 10th round is pick 113. So who's available? Dalton Schultz, Cole Kmet. Those are the 2 guys that I would target. And one of them should make it to me. So that's kind of where I'm going. Although Dalton Schultz right now, ADP 112. I think I can make it. I think I can get him. So let's look at the rest of the 6th round. So after Joe Mixon, it was David Montgomery, then Alvin Kamara, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Marquise Brown, Dalton Kincaid, Ramondre Stevenson, then Brian Thomas Jr. closed out the 6th round. So we've got 4 rookies now off the board, all wide receivers. Joe Burrow is the first pick of the 7th round. George Kittle comes off, another tight end. So again, we are continuing with heavy tight ends being taken here. And, look, are all my guys gone? Oh yeah, look, Deontay Johnson just went off the board. So who is still available? And I don't think we have any ones left. There's no number 1 receivers. So, let's look at running backs. Okay, so running backs, we got some decent options. Najee Harris, I can't quit that guy. I don't know why. I always want to take him. DeAndre Swift, I think, is going to regress this year. Eckler's too old. Pollard, I'm just not excited about the Tennessee offense. They just got a terrible quarterback situation, so I'm not really interested in that. Jaylen Warren's a guy like this. It's actually contract year for both these players, but Jaylen Warren's only on contract through the 2024 season. Najee Harris is still on contract through 2025. So they're both good choices. Again, good, it's to us. All right, you know what? Arthur Smith, right? We know he likes to use his running backs. Let's go ahead and take Najee. So we've got 3 wide receivers and 3 running backs taken, along with Jalen Hurts. That's not too bad, man. I'm feeling pretty good about that. If we look at my next pick, let's see, our next pick is 89. So at round 89, who could we get? We could get, again, these are twos. Dobbs, Myers. Williams not really interested in. He's a speed guy, an outside guy. They're never good for fantasy. And he's too early for, he is just way too early for what his potential upside is. So, and then rookie, I like Adonai Mitchell. I think he's a great option, a great draft position right here for where he's going. He's at 105, let's see here, 90 and 103. Oh, I might even be able to get him on the 9th round. That'd be great. Cortland Sutton, not really interested in. He's going to be a regression player, losing his quarterback. He had 10 touchdowns last year, which was a career high. So I don't have a lot of faith in him. If we look at the tight ends, who's still on the board? Look, Engram, Njoku, Ferguson, Hawkinson, who's coming back from an injury, so I don't really like him. But then Goddard, Schultz, Kmet. They're still great tight ends. Still really, really good tight ends. So don't need to worry about that. Again, we don't need to worry at all about quarterback because we are totally set there. After I took Najee Harris, look at this. Zamir White has moved up. He's moved up substantially from where he was before. We got Tony Pollard coming off after my pick, DeAndre Hopkins, Austin Eckler, Jordan Love closed out the 7th round. 8th round begins with Christian Watson, who I am out on. I just don't think he can do it. He just can't stay healthy, man. That's the problem. He can't stay on the field. And I'm much more inclined to take someone like Romeo Doubs, who's on my list right now. And I definitely need to get another wide receiver here because I'm feeling a little thin at wide receiver. Warren is still on the board. That is very tempting. But I really do need another wide receiver. And if I could get Dobbs on this round and then Adonai on the next one, that would be really nice. That would be a nice couple of receivers to have. We got DeAndre Swift comes off, Dak Prescott. Let's look at the overall board. Who's at the top of the board right now? A bunch of tight ends are on the board. Like they're all saying, "Take my tight ends." This is tough. This is really tough. I could take Warren, and I got. You know what? I'm going to take Adonai Mitchell. I'm going to take him early here because I think he offers more upside than either Dobbs or Jacoby Myers offers. So, I'm going to go with that. And let's see here. Next pick is at pick 104. So who would be available around 104? I got someone like Josh Downs. We got some more rookies. Troy Franklin, Xavier Worthy. Mike Williams not interested in. Khalil Shakir is I think a very nice choice for best ball. I think he's a great best ball option. Tyler Lockett, geez, and that's not even until 119. Okay, so that's way later. So let's look at what running backs are around going to be on the next round. We could take the rookie. We could take Trey Benson. That would be the first rookie running back. That could be really, really good. We've got Chase Brown in Cincinnati, who's going to be behind. Why am I drawing a blank on his name? Chubb. Thank you, Chubb. Devin Singletary, Zach Moss, Jonathan Brooks. That's another rookie, Jonathan Brooks. I could go for that. Neither of these guys. Well, Singletary could be in a number 1 position here in New York. And he did pretty good last year. You know what? I got to say, I was kind of impressed at where he is. Let's start looking at quarterbacks too, because we're going to want to take let's look at the tight ends because we definitely want to get the tight ends on there. So, because I am going to be wanting to take one of these guys. Again, Dalton Schultz at 121. Yeah, I could definitely get Dalton Schultz in the 10th round. I should definitely be able to get him. All right, so since I took Adonai Mitchell, here's who came off. No wide receivers. Purdy, Engram, Njoku, Raheem Mostert, Jalen Warren, Tyjae Spears, Brock Bowers close out the 8th round. 9th round begins with Jamison Williams, then Javonte Williams, then Jacoby Myers. Zach Moss comes off at pick 100. We got 3 picks to us. So, man, I like the idea of going with the rookie. I like the idea of going with Trey Benson here and just going rookie. And then we'll pivot around. We'll take our tight end on the next round, and then 11th round, take our QB2. So I think that's kind of the way I'm leaning right now. But man, I'm excited for that. So that means my running back core is going to be super solid. Rachaad White, Joe Mixon, Najee Harris, and now the rookie Trey Benson. Ooh, man, I really, really like that. Okay, so let's go ahead. I need to do this. Let's stick to the plan. So I got 4 running backs now. I just took 2 rookies in a row, Adonai Mitchell and Trey Benson. I think that's great. I think both these guys, well, Adonai's going to be a first-round pick. Trey Benson's going to be the first running back off the board, probably in the second round, but maybe the third. So I like that. And like I said, now we got to go tight end. So looking at tight ends here, Goddard, Schultz, Kmet. I'm kind of leaning Schultz. I really like the upside of that team. With Goddard, we've got the additional target competition with Saquon Barkley being in there now. Cole Kmet, they added another tight end. Who was the tight end they added? It was the guy from the Chargers. Why can't I think of his name? Gerald Everett. Yeah, they added Gerald Everett, which is a little bit of a hit because that guy's a pretty effective tight end, receiving tight end. So I think that's the way I'm going to go. But who's still on the board for wide receivers? Troy Franklin, Xavier Worthy, Khalil Shakir. Again, it's going to be hard to pass up on guys like Shakir or Tyler Lockett at this point in the draft. But like I said, I need to lock up my tight end. Obviously, a lot of tight ends have been taken. We knew this was going to happen, and this is the way that we build this team. So after my Trey Benson pick, then Romeo Doubs came off, Chase Brown, Josh Downs, Cortland Sutton closes out the 9th round. Then Tyler Lockett is the beginning of the 10th round. Again, nice value there for Lockett, man. I really like that. He's the last wide receiver taken from Seattle so late, and he always produces. He is older. I think he's 30 this year. Xavier Worthy comes off. Troy Franklin comes off. So these are the wide receivers I was looking at. Khalil Shakir is still there, but I am going to pivot. I think I'm going to take Dalton Schultz right now. Just real excited about that whole team and the whole situation there. I think it's going to be really, really great. Really up on Houston for this year. And I'm happy to have 2 players from Houston on this team. So that's exciting. So 11th round, I want to pivot back. I've got to get my QB2. And so we've got some good options here. I don't really want the rookies, but did someone already take Goff? Dang it. Shoot. But Kirk Cousins, I think, would be a great choice. Stafford is a great choice. Certainly Caleb Williams I will consider, just because he's going to go into a really, really nice positive situation. Fields, I don't really know if they're going to trade him, and if he just stays on as the QB2 on Chicago, that's devastating to his value. We've got the other rookies, Jaden Daniels and Drake May here. Daniels might have some good rookie value as well because he's a rushing quarterback, so that gives him a nice floor. But I think one of these guys would be great. Kirk Cousins certainly seems to be in a really, really good situation here. And so if he makes it back to me, I'll take him. Oh, look at this. So right in between my Dalton Schultz pick, Tua, Jared Goff, and Trevor Lawrence all came off right around me. So yeah, that's a shame. But Mike Williams comes off pick 116, TJ Hawkinson, Devin Singletary, Caleb Williams comes off, and now we're at the end of the 10th round. And, as things start to get a little bit more, there's not as many good players. We're getting kind of picked over at this point. I'm going to start pausing between the rounds, so you don't have to watch everything that happens in real time, and just because it takes so much time. So Justin Fields comes off end of the 10th round, and so we're in a situation here, man. Cousins may not make it back to me. What is my pick? I'm at 128. Oh, he might not make it to me, but I'm cool with Stafford. I'm cool with getting Stafford, and plus I have already got Puka. Puka's my one, so that's a nice stack there. I usually don't worry too much about stacks. I'm happy when they happen, but I don't go out of my way to try to make a stack happen. Stacks are good for best ball. They're a positive thing, so we'll just see what happens here. Khalil Shakir comes off at pick 123. So again, that's a guy I really liked. Also, let's see here. Dallas Goedert came off. First pick of the 11th round. Chuba Hubbard, Khalil Shakir, Gus Edwards, 3 picks to me. And like I said, we are targeting our QB2 at this point. Looking at the board right now, I do need to continue to work on getting wide receivers. So I think that's where I need to focus on once I get my my QB2 here. We'll pivot back to receivers and we'll look to who we can take. Probably maybe some more rookies. We'll see who's still on the board. So after Khalil Shakir, Gus Edwards, Zach Charbonnet, Jonathan Brooks, Curtis Samuel. Now it's me. So Kirk Cousins did make it to me. So let's go ahead and take Kirk. And I like the upside of that offense with him on it. And it's going to be a quick turnaround here, so I'm going to stay on. But let's look at wide receivers. So Rashid Shaheed is a guy I like. Look, we got some more rookies. Ladd McConkey, Keon Coleman. Judy, no interest. Jahan Dotson, no interest. Dontavian Wicks, I really don't care about. Brandon Cooks is a fading talent. So that, again, one of these 3 guys comes back to me, I'll take him. Let's also look at tight ends. Cole Kmet is still on the board. That's amazing. We got Luke Musgrave, Pat Freiermuth, who could have a bounce back, although, again, Arthur Smith never really utilized Kyle Pitts. Why would he utilize Pat Freiermuth now that he's there? Cade Otton is a tight end too that I really like. I say like these guys are much later though. I mean, my next pick is what? 137. Oh yeah, I don't need to look that late. Let's see who's right at the top of the board right now. So Blake Corum, another rookie running back, is still there. Oh boy, man, it's starting to get picked over. I mean, Dontavian Wicks, what did he do last year? 58 targets. Oof, not great. I mean, he does have some value as best ball, but not really. Rashid Shaheed came off. That's too bad. So yeah, after Kirk Cousins, it was Gabe Davis, Ladd McConkey, Cole Kmet, Rashid Shaheed. That closed out the 11th round. 12th round begins Jaden Daniels, Jerry Jeudy, 2 picks to me. And we'll see. Let's see who else is here. Quentin Johnson, Marvin Mims. Ugh, nothing really great here. All right, so it's me. So, of course, Keon Coleman came off. That's too bad. I could take Stafford as my QB3. Cade Otton is much later. Really, there's no one here at the top of the list that's really blown me away. You know what? I always go 3 quarterbacks. I'm just going to lock up Stafford. That's a great core of running backs. Hurts, Cousins, and Stafford. I like that. That's solid, man. That's exactly how I like it to happen. So what's my next pick? 152. So I'm just going to pause now. We'll come back when we're within 3. We'll review. We'll see what we want to take, and we'll go from. Okay, so since the Stafford pick, it's Quentin Johnson comes off, then Jerome Ford, Jaleel McLaughlin. That's a guy I like for best ball. Aaron Rodgers comes off, Jahan Dotson, Michael Wilson, and then Ty Chandler closes out the 12th round. 13th round starts with Marvin Mims, then Drake May, rookie quarterback, Dontavian Wicks, Deshaun Watson, Josh Palmer. 2 picks to me, and I am still in need of wide receivers. So I think that's where I'm going to go here. We've got Roman Wilson, Xavier Legette, 2 rookies. Wan'Dale Robinson is there, and actually I think I might take Wan'Dale just because there's no receivers in there's no receivers in the Giants, and he's probably the best one. He's also 2 years removed from that injury. He did have 78 targets last year. He could improve on that. So Luke Musgrave came off. see and then Elijah Mitchell comes off. It's my pick. So let's go ahead. We'll take Wan'Dale Robinson. Again, I do need more wide receivers. I'm kind of lacking in the wide receiver core. So that was my 5th wide receiver. Little late, man, to be taking my 5th wide receiver. I really kind of sacrificed that position. It's pretty solid though. I like who I have, but we need to definitely boost it up. I think I'm going to take another wide receiver here on the short turnaround. And we've got these options like Roman Wilson, Xavier Legette, Ricky Pearsall, and Darnell Mooney are all interesting to me, and they should make it to me. They should. So we'll see what happens with that. Now, as far as tight ends go, I always like to take 4 tight ends. I've got my starter. I'm feeling rock solid with Dalton Schultz as my tight end, but I want to back him up with 3 guys who I call 50, 505 guys. 50 catches, 500 yards, 5 touchdowns. These guys are worthless for regular fantasy football, but for best ball, they are useful and they can be utilized because you don't have to choose what weeks you started them on. They only get started if they score enough points, which means on the weeks that they score the touchdown. That's what you want. So there are some good choices coming up. I think that's where I'm going to pivot after this next round is going back to tight ends and bolstering up that group. And there are some options there. So closing out the 13th round, we've got Brandon Cooks comes off after my pick of Wan'Dale Robinson, Jalen Wright, Kendry Miller, Marshawn Lloyd all came off. We are starting the 14th round now, 4 picks to me. And if we look at the top of the board, Freiermuth is still on the board. Roman Wilson, rookie wide receiver. Roshan Johnson. Braylon Allen, rookie running back. Baker Mayfield. But I don't need any more quarterbacks. Obviously, I'm all totally set with quarterbacks. Freiermuth came off. I would have probably taken him if he had made it to me. But I'm okay with this. So, and Mooney did come off, which is too bad. But I'm going to go with one of these rookies here. I think I'll go ahead and I'll probably take Roman Wilson. Oh, no, he got taken. All right, I'll take Xavier Legette. All right. And so that is my 6th wide receiver. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's my 6th. Okay, so let's start pivoting back. I'm going to pause here. We'll come back when we're within 3, but we're going to move towards tight ends at this next round. All right, so it's almost back to me. So since my pick of Xavier Legette, we've got Michael Mayer, Roshan Johnson, Isaiah Likely, Tyler Algier, Braylon Allen, Adam Thielen, and Antonio Gibson closes out the 14th round. 15th round starts with Ricky Pearsall, Baker Mayfield, Cade Otton, Tyler Conklin, Khalil Herbert, Geno Smith. Cade Otton and Tyler Conklin are 2 tight ends that I very much like and I'm very much interested in. So it's a shame to miss them. Also, when we look at guys like Tyler Algier, Khalil Herbert also getting taken, Rico Dowdle, Geno Smith comes off at pick 174. It is me. So tight end, Hunter Henry just got signed to a 3-year deal with New England. Will be playing with a rookie quarterback, so a safety valve. Great guy for best ball. I would never take him for regular fantasy football, but for best ball, I think he's an outstanding option. So we want to stay on the tight ends. My next pick is at pick 185, so we got players like Jonnu Smith in Miami. I actually like that very much. Jatavian Sanders, the rookie. Chigakonkwo from Tennessee also, I think, is a decent choice. Again, these guys, look at Chigakonkwo, 54 receptions, 528 yards, only 1 touchdown. So he's not a 5,505 guy. He's a 5,501 guy. So you think that the touchdowns will revert back to more of normal. So, the prior year he got 3 touchdowns. So again, great guy for best ball, not a guy you want for regular fantasy football. So let's see here. After Hunter Henry comes off, then Rashad Bateman, Will Levis. We got these guys taking up their full time. I think it's just because they're out of ideas for who they want to take. Trey Palmer comes off. And when we're talking about players, players like Trey Palmer, Demario Douglas, Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen's older, again, he's like 33. We know what these guys are going to do, and they're not going to do much, and there's no upside. Darnell Mooney does have some upside because he's actually moving into a wide receiver 2 position with a better quarterback. than what he had with Justin Fields. So Keaton Mitchell comes off, oft injured running back that has upside apparently, but can't stay on the field. Okay, so Jonnu Smith just came off. That sucks. I'm really bummed that he came off. But we can, you know what? I think I'm probably going to take Chig. I'm going to take Chig on this next one. He's definitely going to make it to me. Chig is at 199. Yeah, he's going to make it to me. And actually, would he make it to my next pick? No, he will not make it to my next pick. So if I want him, I got to take him. We also got Juwan Johnson here. Juwan Johnson also not quite a 5,505 guy. He's a 37, 368, 4. Not nearly as good. Not as good a situation as you want. Let's see here. Other wide receivers. We got some more rookies. Jalen Polk, Malachi Corley. Don't know a lot about these guys. I'm still trying to learn the rookies. It's going to be hard to really know them until we know what situation they're going into. But we're so late on the draft board right now, too. That's another thing. So almost back to us, I think. Oh, yeah, almost back. So Jonnu Smith, first pick of the 16th round. Demarcus Robinson, Bucky Irving, rookie running back. Russell Wilson comes off. Now it's my pick. I'm going to take Chig as my third tight end. And so how many rows? We got 4 rounds left. So I do need at least one more. I do need at least one more tight end. So I definitely want to get one more. And then I definitely need at least one more running back. And I know who I want to target for my running back. I'm going to target, if we look here, Jeff Wilson Jr. Where is he? Whoops. Jeff Wilson. See, he can be almost like a last round pick for us. Maybe 19th round. Other guys I'm interested in, Brendan Rice as just a total flyer. Let's see here. And as far as tight ends go, let's just look at the tight ends that are still available. So Juwan Johnson's still there. I'll tell you what, I'm going to pause. I'll come back when we're close to my pick and we'll figure out. All right, so it's almost back to me. So after I took Chigakonkwo, then Bryce Young, Derek Carr, Damian Pierce, Daniel Jones. So some still decent quarterbacks going in the 16th round. Jalen Polk, wide receiver rookie, comes off. Zay Jones. Miles Sanders closes out the 16th round. Actually, Miles Sanders is a guy I like to get late, as I think he can bounce back this year. 17th round begins Jalen Hylett, Juwan Johnson, Malachi Corley, Noah Brown. Elijah Moore comes off. Dang, man, I was really hoping he would make it to me. I knew I was riding the snake on that one. I didn't think he was going to make it. But we have we got Jatavian Sanders, the rookie tight end, is still available. Although I'm really more interested in Zach Ertz or Davis Allen. Almost to us. I think I might take Brendan Rice here. Let's see here. Who's right at the top? Devontae Walker, Tyler Boyd, Treylon Burks, Malik Washington. Yeah, there's not really any great options here. I think what I'll do is I'm going to take Brendan Rice. And my next pick is 209. So if I can get Ertz or Davis Allen. Davis Allen is a guy that no one's really talking about. But Tyler Higbee I think he tore his Achilles. And right at the end, right during the playoffs, January. And so there's no other tight ends for the Rams. And I have Matthew Stafford, so I could stack it. So I like that. Oh, Zach Ertz was just taken. Zach Ertz is another guy who I very much like. I was thinking I would probably have to take him. But let's just see what happens here. Zach Ertz, I was hoping I would be able to get him on the flip. But Zach Ertz is in a good situation with the offensive coordinator, who is Cliff Kingsbury, who he worked with Zach Ertz when they were both in Arizona, and utilized Zach Ertz very heavily. Now, Ertz is an older player, oft injured, all that stuff, but he's still a guy that I like. We've got Ray Davis, rookie running back. Gardner Minshew comes off. I think Gardner Minshew is a nice choice. I think he might be the starter in Las Vegas this year. Will Shipley comes off to close out the 17th round. 18th round begins with J.J. McCarthy, Sam Darnold. Again, we don't need to worry about this. We've already got our 3 quarterbacks. We are all fully set with our quarterbacks. That's actually my favorite part of this team so far. But I think what I'll do is I'll grab Davis Allen here, and then hopefully Jeff Wilson makes it back to me on the next round. He should make it to the 19th pick. And then for 20th pick, we're just going to find the best available. I think this is what we're going to do. You're so scraping the bottom of the barrel, so speculating, who knows? But let's go ahead and as far as the other tight ends that are available here, okay, so it's us. Waller injured too much, old. Noah Fant is in a super crowded receiving room, so I don't like that. Kraft is the tight end 2 on Green Bay, not worth it. So I'm going for upside here. I think Davis Allen has a nice role in this offense with Higbee being out probably for at least the first half of the year, but probably longer. Torn Achilles, I think it might be the end of his career. Jeff Wilson is definitely my target for next round, but I don't want to hyper focus on that because if he goes, then I don't want to be in crisis mode. So I'm going to pause, look at who else is available, and get some more names on my list. Okay, so it's almost back to me. So since my pick of Davis Allen, it was Jonathan Mingo, Tyler Boyd, Noah Fant, Donald Parham Jr., Devontae Walker, Malik Washington, and then A.J. Dillon closed out the 18th round. 19th round begins with Kenneth Gainwell, Zeke Elliott, Darren Waller, A.T. Perry, J.K. Dobbins, Treylon Burks. One pick to me, Rondale Moore. Now it's my pick. Okay, so Jeff Wilson made it. Awesome. I think Jeff Wilson can be a nice bounce back candidate. He was injured for most of the season last year, didn't really play. But the year before, he was great, and we're talking Miami. Which has 2 very problematic running backs ahead of him, and that one's old and the other one's small. And so I think there could be some opportunity for Jeff Wilson. So he's a guy I just like to grab right at the end. Again, 19th round. He might have even been available in the 20th round, but I didn't want to risk it. And now that we're at the end of the draft, it's just kind of like best available. Who could I take? I think I might take Kendrick Bourne if he makes it to me. A guy, not anything special. New England, he's just another guy there, but he does have a role. He got 4 touchdowns last year. That's kind of what you're looking for. Also, we got the rookie Javon Baker or Jermaine Burton. These guys are probably not going to go in the first. They'll be day 3 draft picks, so they're not going to be that great. Justice Hill could have a small role. Again, good for best ball, not great for anything else. Same with Michael Carter, Jonta Foreman. These are all guys. And Alexander Madison, who still hasn't been picked up anywhere, but he's going to get picked up. He's a backup, quality backup. So these are the kind of guys I'm looking at. Just, you're just looking around for anybody, just the best available kind of situation. And how many running backs do I have? I do have 5 now. So I think I definitely need another wide receiver though. I gotta grab a wide receiver. So I think, like I said, if Kendrick Bourne makes it to me, I'll take him. Although 3 picks to me, it might not happen. And he's 4th on the list. That's kind of a long shot. But if he goes, I'll probably grab like Foreman or Madison or something like that. But not too bad. I kind of like this team. We'll review it once the draft is done here. But feeling pretty good about this team. I think this is solid players across the board, and I've got some nice upside plays, which I always like to have. A lot of young players. No, I don't think I got any old. I think my oldest player is Stafford. So nobody is like a post-peak kind of guy who's in the decline phase of his career, and that's what I like to stay away from. So, okay, one pick to me. I think it's going to be Kendrick Bourne here. As long as DAJ97 doesn't take him. Come on, stop making me wait, DAJ97. Let me have my guy. And he's going to take his full 30. Okay, great. Take Kendrick Bourne. All right, so I'll pause for a second. We'll review the. All right, so here's where we're at. Quarterbacks: Jalen Hurts, Kirk Cousins, Matthew Stafford. Love it. Love that quarterback core. That's great. Probably the best quarterback group I have drafted so far. Running backs: here's what I got: Rachaad White, Joe Mixon, Najee Harris, Trey Benson, and Jeff Wilson Jr. Rock solid. RB1, RB1, RB1. Probably the RB1 of whatever team he gets drafted by, and then Jeff Wilson, a high upside play at that fourth. My wide receivers: Puka Nacua, got the nice stack with Stafford, Nico Collins, George Pickens, Adonai Mitchell, the rookie, Wan'Dale Robinson, Xavier Legette, Brendan Rice, and Kendrick Bourne as my wide receivers. I think that's a solid core with some nice upside with Adonai. And again, wide receiver one, Adonai Mitchell. I don't know if we'll see where he goes, right? Wan'Dale Robinson, potential wide receiver 1 for the Giants. I don't know. We'll have to see. Xavier Legette, Brandon Rice, some upside rookies. Kendrick Bourne, I think also solid play for Best Buy. I don't think I'd be interested in this guy. Like Wan'Dale and Kendrick wouldn't really be interested in regular fantasy football, but for Best Ball, I think they're both good choices. Then my tight ends, again, great tight ends, man. Dalton Schultz, Hunter Henry, Chikakonkwo, and Davis Allen. So I've got, I think this team solid all around. I do seem to have a lot of exposure to the Rams and Houston, but both those are great offenses. Totally happy with that. So anyway, overall, very good draft. I'm very happy with how this turned out. 3 quarterbacks, 5 running backs, 8 wide receivers, 4 tight ends. That's just about how I like it. Sometimes I go 6 running backs and 7 wide receivers, but I always like to have 3 quarterbacks and 4 tight ends, just because tight ends are great plays to pick after pick 10. There's good, solid players there for best ball. So anyway, let me know what you think. What do you think of this team? I think of all my teams right now, this is definitely in the top half of the teams I've drafted so far. Very much like the upside of this team, and got solid players at the top, which is what you want. So anyway, thanks for watching. I appreciate you sticking it out this whole time. Have yourself a great day, and we'll see you next time.